Okay, so on the side, like on the whiteboard over here, I've made a bit of a calendar just so you guys are aware of what we're up to for the next 4 weeks. Because yeah, 4 weeks on Friday is your math diploma, and then after that, I believe everybody's done diplomas. What do you guys have? Just English and math? Yeah. So I mean, here's your next 4 weeks then. So today's the 30th. Today's Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. These 3 days, we're gonna do our games. So you guys can see on the back tables there, I've got some board games. So ideally, we'd play some board games. Do some more logic puzzles. They're all like logic type games. So hopefully you'll have fun. Usually the classes in the past I've done this with, they kind of enjoy these days because it's pretty low stress. Like it's really, we're just gonna play board games in class. Cool. So Thursday is our unit test. And you guys actually have the same unit test today as my chem kids. So ideally, we should be done everything for the unit on Thursday this week. I didn't find this out until earlier today, but originally it was supposed to be Flex Friday this Friday. And apparently we've decided to change it and make it next week Friday. So for us on Friday this week, we'll just make this week Friday just be like a catch-up day, I guess. If you're not done something, get it done, right? So as you can see on the calendar there, that on the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th, that's basically a review week. So my goal is for you guys, I want to redo, at least for a couple of days, re-go over the first unit on rationals, redo that fractions unit. Probably spend a day doing probability as well, just because it's been a while since we've done that. And on one of those days, I'd like to write a practice diploma and see how you guys do as writing a practice test. I would like to say next week Friday, not next week, yeah, next week Friday, I'd like to make that my last day to hand in late stuff. Because I need some time to get it marked, and we need to have grades in. So if there's something late that you still want to hand in, I'll still take it, but I got to cut it off. Like, that's got to be the day, okay? And then the week after that is when life gets pretty busy for you guys, because you guys would have a diploma on Monday and on the Thursday. And what I'm going to say is, how about we make the Wednesday the day where I'll make that the last day to hand in a progress log. So really, that's not really on you so much as it's on me. If you guys have to hand in all your work by the Friday, it gives me a couple of days to get it marked, obviously. And then once I get it back to you, you guys need to give me a progress log, basically ASAP. But I'm going to basically put a cutoff and say, like, if someone doesn't get around to getting me a progress log by that time, I'm assuming they're just not planning on doing it. So yeah, 13, 16s are diplomas. You guys don't need to care about the Friday there, but we have my chem class is doing a lab final. So then the next days after that, you guys need to care about. We don't actually have class the week after that, so we're gonna do you don't have to come to class, I guess is what I'm saying. So if you guys want to, you're more than welcome to, but the last day of classes officially is the 17th, and technically on that 17th we're actually doing a year-end kind of, like we always do, like a last day of school assembly kind of thing. So realistically our last day of classes is the 16th. So and then, the only other things you guys need to care about then are we're going to do a class final on Wednesday the 22nd, and we'll do our actual diploma on the 24th. I always do the same thing for my class finals. If you do better on my class final than you did all year in the course, you can have that mark. So if you were doing poorly and you, by some miracle, managed to get like an 85% on my test, I'll give you 85 as your class mark. So like it could be worth everything. Now, granted, don't count on that. That doesn't happen every day. But I mean, it does mean that no one has to fail if they do well. Otherwise, I make that worth 30% of what I can give you. So basically, that first final, the class final on the 22nd, is 30% of my mark, and then your diploma is 30% of your overall mark. So there's still a lot of marks, obviously, still to work with. And then, as far as I know, I don't think there's many people who have anything left after that. So then you guys would get a nice weekend, and then grads on the Tuesday. So, yeah, 4 weeks, and adios. Let's see you around. You guys have any questions? All right. Wait, why don't we talk about our lesson and notes today then? And then you got to leave early, right? You got rugby thing? Yeah. So, I mean, the rest of us, I'll show you too while you're still here. But one of the things we're going to do for this last assignment, we're going to play some games. And I handed you guys the assignment for this section here. The assignment, basically, all the questions are run basically the same way. The first of the questions will always be, explain some strategies for how to win a certain game. And then the second question is going to be, I'm going to have you walk you through like a game scenario and ask you, like what sort of move should you make in this place if you were the red tiles? Does that make sense? So a very, very different assignment. I think you'll like it. It's puzzles and games. So anyways, let's do this topic. On the diploma, there. Ooh, what did I just do here? I don't know what I just did. Go away. Huh. Might have to exit out of this thing somehow. There you go. Cancel. Undo. Okay, on the diploma, they're going to ask you some questions about puzzles. Okay. I think I showed you this one before. It was literally a question on an old diploma. There was X's and O's. Now, it was actually reverse X's and O's. The aim of this particular game of X's and O's was to not get 3 in a row. But I mean, I don't know what sort of puzzle they're going to give you, so we basically prep for anything. So here's a good example of a question. This wasn't on a diploma, but it basically says, here's a game. There's 9 cards. There's like, say, double triangles, double squares, double circles, like so. Right? And it says, in order to win, you need to create 4 sets using 3 cards each. So, like, for example, I'll show you a 3-card combination that would work. I'll pick this one. I'll pick this one. I'll pick this one. That would be a set of cards. And this one's a winning set because it has to have some of the attributes. It either has to have the same number of figures or a different number of figures. Would you guys agree with me here that this one has 2 objects on it? This one has 2 objects. This one has 2 objects. So that's the same. And they also have to have the same shape, or they have to all be different shapes. And hopefully you'd agree these are all different shapes. This one's triangles, this one's squares, this one's circles. It would have worked if they were all circles, but that's fine. And then the last thing, they either have to all be the same color, or they'll have to be different colors. And on this one here, they're all the same color. So these 3 would be a winning set. What I could totally see them do on a question like this is make a numeric response, label them as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they might ask you, what's a winning combination? So one of the winning combinations would be 1, 4, and 7. Can you guys see any others? How else could you win this game? I believe there's 4 possible ways. 6, 7, 8. Let's see. So you're suggesting this one here, this one here, this one here. That wouldn't work because they're not all different types. What we could do.
2, 3, 8.
Let's try 2, 3, 8.
5, 8. Sorry.
2, 5, 8. I think you got one there. Because look, they're all, it's differences for all of them, right? You've got 1, 2, and 3. You've got blue, red, and green, and square, triangle, circle. So well done, Shodi. 2, 5, 8 would work. How about 3? No, hang on. No, I don't think that one's going to work there. How about 4, 8, 4, 6, 8? 2, 2, and 2. So they've all got 2s, right? This one's a blue, red, and a green. So that's all different. And then squares, circles, triangles. Does that make sense? I think there's one more. Let's see if we can find it here.
Could you do like 1, 6, 8?
So what are you thinking? 1,
1, 6, 8.
6.
Or no, because they'd be the same triangle.
Ah, you still have triangles there. It's close though, isn't it? It's not bad. That's not a bad thought. Are there any 2 triangles? No, there's number 2 of triangles. What if we did 1, 3, 5? I think that's the other one. Here you've got this guy, and this guy. So they're all triangles, so that fits the shape type, right? There's 1 of this one, 2 of that one, 3 of that one. And you've got a red, a blue, and a green. That makes sense? So here's basically the exact same thing then. Same concept. You've got to basically find a winning combination. So I did the exact same thing. Let's make a numeric response. Find a winning combination. See if you can find just one. I don't need you to find all of them, but let's just find one of them. So you need to have all the same or none of the same. For shape, I guess in this one, call it like shading. And what do you got?
7, 5, 9.
That's the first one that I saw too, actually. Yeah, 7, 5, and 9. because you've got a single triangle, but they're all different types.
138.
138. So there's a single here, a double there, a triple there, square, triangle, circle. Nice. And then open, closed, and shaded. Very well done. Good job. So, does that make sense, basically? You're going to get questions like this. I don't know exactly what the question is going to be like, but you're going to get a puzzle. And you have to be able to solve the puzzle somehow. So, let me show you some examples of questions that were on diplomas. Okay. I took the stem of a question here, and this was actually a written question at one point. So you can kind of see that the format here, this is how they usually structure the format of a diploma question. Basically, it says here, the goal of a puzzle is to fill in the letters A, B, C, and D so that no letters are repeated in any row, column, or set. So what that means here is like if you were to go like up and down, you get to have A, B, C, and D in that row. And you can't, like for example, you couldn't put a B here. Does that make sense? Because you'd have two B's in the same like column. You couldn't put an A here because you can't put those ones there. So what we're going to try to do here is find Jerome's error because this guy's made a mistake. And then we're going to try to find the correct solution to the puzzle. So, would it make sense that like if this is A, B, C, does this guy right here, this logic has to be D, right? That's the only way it would work. Okay, but the way this works here then, see how this little grouping right here, it's all one section? If I've already used the B, the A, the B, the D, wouldn't this one have to be the C then? Why can't that happen then? Why can this one not be C then? Because then you'd have two C's in the same row as each other. Does that make sense? So we have to, this was a written response question. We have to fix Jerome's mistake. So we should remove these ones in the white circles here because he's messed this one up. So let's eliminate what he has there and try to start over again. This guy right here, this one, what could this one be? It can't be B, right?
Would it have to be an A?
Well, it would have to be either an A or a C, I'd say, right? Because it can't be D because there's already a D in this row here. So this one could be a C or it could be an A. Is that fair to say? What could this one down here be?
C.
Yeah, that's the only thing it can be. Because you've already used the B right here. You've already used the D right here. You can't use A because A is right here, so this one has to be C.
So then would that eliminate that?
So that eliminates this one and forces that one to be A. So now that we've got it started, it goes A, B, C, D. And then now I can start working here and saying, okay, well, like this guy right here, this one's got to be a B or a D, and this one's got to be a B or a D, because if there's an A and a C in the bottom row, then the other two have to be B's and D's.
That one can't be D because there's D above it.
So that makes that one a B, which makes that one a D. And as I kind of work through the puzzle, this is actually how like Sudokus work. So then there's an A, B, D, that's a C there. A, C, D, this guy better be a B. And like as I keep putting it together, it kind of fits into place, doesn't it? So then I might say like these numbers right here, this has to be an A or a B, and this one has to be an A or a B. But there's a B sitting over here, so that's not the B. And then that one's not the A.
Now by the B should be a C or an A.
Well, actually, let's go to the very top here. A, B, C. This one up here has to be a D then, right? And then is this the one you were talking about? So this one would have to be a B. It would have been a C or a D, but now that I said that one's a D, that one has to be a C. A, B, C, D for that little section. And then across, there's an A, B, C, so that one's a D. And then, let's see, B, C, D, that one's got to be the A. And A, B, D, C. There we go. We've solved the puzzle. So this was a diploma question, only it was a written response diploma question. Basically, the question was find where he screwed up and then do it properly. This next one is another diploma question. This was a numeric response question. This, you guys play the game, what's it called, Connect 4? Kinsey Ann likes to play that one with me. She doesn't know how to play Connect 4 yet. She just likes putting all the little checkers in the slots, and then she like slides a little thing on the bottom, and they all fall down. You know the game I'm talking about, Connect 4? This is kind of like Connect 4, only we're just doing it with letters, right? So the thing at the top there kind of says you want to get 4 adjacent ones in a row, right? So Margaret wants to guarantee that she's going to win eventually. Where should she play? Can anybody figure out where she should put an M to make sure that she's going to for sure win? Well, let's try a few spots here. Let's say she puts her M right there. Does that guarantee that she's going to win in the future? No. Here? You know, what's a good strategy of getting 4 in a row is before you can get 4 in a row, you really want to have 3 in a row, right? So where's a good spot for her to get 3 in a row? How about right here? Why is that such a good spot for her? Well, okay, so the next player is going to play, right? Let's say that Gerda plays next, and Gerda goes right here and blocks her. She can play over here and get 4 in a row like that, right? Or, let's say she plays here, and Gerda tries to go here for the block. Well, then she plays there for a 4 in a row. Does that logic make sense? So, the right answer to this one is she should try to put her M right here, which is in row number 4, column number 2. And that was an old diploma question. Maybe you guys can see why I find it kind of hard to teach this section, though, right? Like, how do I prep you for every single puzzle in the game? You can't, right? Like, you're going to get a few of these things where you just got to, I don't know, you got to problem solve. Here's another one that was a stem of some old diploma question. They figured out some pattern here. 1 times 8 plus 1 is 9. 12 times 8 plus 2 is 98. 3 times 8 plus 3 is 897. You guys can kind of see this pattern, right? What would the next row be? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 8 plus 4. What do you think the next number is going to be then? Used to be 9. And it's 9 with 8. Then it's 9 with 8 with 7. 9, 8, 7, 6. That's the 4th row. So just keep the pattern going. Row 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 8 plus 5. And that should give 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Row 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 8 plus 6. And that would give 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So, for the one we actually care about, row 7, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Times it by 8. Add 7. Right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this should equal 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I'm thinking this one probably used to be either multiple choice or numeric response, or written response, because you couldn't actually put this in a numeric response. There's too many spots, right? Does that make sense? Here's another old diploma type question. You ever see those kind of things where it's like this is the first one, this is the second, this is the third, you got to figure out like what's the next pattern in the sequence? That's essentially what this one here is. Tell me what the next pattern happens to be. So how do we go from here to here? How do we go from there to there? And then how are we going to go from there to the last one? You have any ideas? Where's this square going? I'd say up, right? It went from here to there, and then from here to there it went to there. So if it keeps going up, I would draw it right here. Let's see what's happening. Okay, let's start with this square right here. Where's this square going? How are you pointing? Yeah, I said diagonal. I think this one went down to here, and then this one went down to here. So then this one should go down to there. How about this one? Where'd this one go? Yeah, I think so. It's here, it's still here, it's still here. And this one, stay in the same spot. So I believe that the right answer should have been this. That's what it should have been. This one kept going up the whole time. This one kept going diagonal, and then the remaining two didn't go anywhere. Does that make sense? I think that's my last example. So here's what we're going to do for the rest of today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. This is directly out of the curriculum. Basically, the outcome is that you need to be able to analyze puzzles and games that involve numerical and logical reasoning using problem-solving strategies. And their suggestion is it's really hard to just have you practice. I mean, how do you know what puzzle they're going to give you? Are they going to give you like the ones we just did? Are they going to give you a tic-tac-toe one? So their suggestion is that it would be good to practice some games. So they actually gave a list of games. Now, first thing I need to tell you is that they're not going to test you on how to play a game. Okay? But they said these ones are good ones for practicing the sort of skills you need. So I happen to own a few of them. And I can't imagine a teacher would be able to do all of them. But I'm going to show you guys how to do Sudokus, Magic Squares, and the game Rush Hour. And I'm also going to show you how to play Crib. Battleship's pretty fun, but I don't own that one for some reason. Backgammon, Sequence, and Blockus. And basically what I want to do over the next couple of days is show you guys how to play these games. And I've got a few assignment questions about them. But like the little bottom blurb there is probably the important one. It's supposed to be an opportunity for students to become experts on games and puzzles, while the teachers need to know the rules. So I will show you how to play all these games if you need. Okay. The intent of the outcome is for students to explore the games and develop personal strategies. So essentially, I want to take 3 days, play some games, have some fun. Okay. Ideally, I wanted to set up some sort of like tournament where we figure out who's the big winner here, but gathering that probably isn't going to work all that well. So, yeah, why don't I leave it there? That's kind of my set of notes for this. So, yeah, let me stop the video right now.